the day after the night before, and as we all know, Chelsea suffered what feels like a bit of it feels like a defeat. It really does. Having to come back from 1-0 down to this Manchester United side in order to get a draw. It really was quite disappointing, it's got to be said. Player ratings, of course. Before we start, please like the video, subscribe, hit the bell notification to be notified of any future content on the channel. And also, please let me know your ratings in the comments down below. And there's plenty to get through in this video. I feel as though opinions differ massively in this game because after the game I went on Alex's stream and stressed my concerns about certain players to a mass of backlash regarding one player in particular who I thought didn't play well. I used the word stinker, which obviously not overall but as a comparison to his counterpart. We'll get into it, shall we? What a frustrating game from start to finish. I was trying to justify the performance from everyone. Lord knows this guy's not getting an 8. But I was trying to justify in the game people's performances or the team as a whole. The team as a whole. Being slow starting from the start, well, obviously, but slow starting as a way to feel, get the feelers out, get a feel for the game, a feel for the vibe that Manchester United were coming with. Were they going to play ultra defensive? Were they actually going to go for it? Were they going to do a bit of both? In a game being football, not just a game against them, but a game of football where Chelsea under Maresca, typically have a lot of possession. Then it just got on a bit too long, and whilst we did gain a lot of possession, the ideas, the chemistry, the passages of play, it just wasn't working. Certain players were a bit ghostly, shall we say? It really wasn't a fantastic performance, both as a team and individuals, to say the least. Robert Sanchez, I really don't know what the game plan is going forward regarding him, because in games like this, you cannot be brought down by your goalkeeper. And it's not for the first time, and it probably most certainly won't be for the last time, that we are at the detriment of Robert Sanchez. Just the ball wasn't even remotely in any danger of going in the back of the net. I don't think, unless he was going to shoot from just a crazy angle, the ball was going away from goal. It was just a totally avoidable situation, and to go 1-0 down against this side, no less with a penalty that was, again, ultimately avoidable. It was just ridiculous. I think I've seen 3s, I've seen 4s. I'm going to give him a 2. I really am disgusted with him. But again, it's a regular occurrence with Robert Sanchez. He makes the odd good save, but for the most part, we are absolutely livid with him on a regular basis, that we just can't really put up with him for much longer. What the future holds with regards to Chelsea and their goalkeeping situation, we've got like 50 goalkeepers at our disposal, and not one of them is really very good. So I don't know where we move forward. Are we going to have to buy another goalkeeper? Who knows? But Robert Sanchez is not the future of this club. I just will be so happy to see him gone. Who we got next? We've got Malo Gusto, and I think a 5, maybe a 5.5 is warranted for this. Again, a rather underwhelming performance from him. It's just not really going very well for him this season, and I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. And otherwise, a player that I absolutely love and I think has massive amounts of potential and talent in abundance it's just something's a little off with him at the moment. Maybe the burden of having to, keep that position on a regular basis is becoming too much for him. I don't know. Obviously, massively overachieving compared to what people were expecting of him when he first joined the club. But compared to last season, he's seemingly a shell of a man compared to what we saw in our previous campaign. We will go with Wesley Fofana next. And again, all these are from the last game. Certainly not. I'm going to go with not a 4, not a 5. I'm going to go with a 6 for Wesley Fofana. I just, again, color coding and all that sort of thing. I just don't think anyone, apart from the odd person here and there, really warrants a green, to be completely honest with you. It's the fact for me that I don't even think that Fofana was the worst out of the two of them. A couple of knuckleheads is what I would call them. Just creating so many issues in defense that don't need to be, don't really need to be the case. It's just, it's Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Do you know what I mean? It's not hard. A lot of the things that they keep ballsing up is really not that difficult for a couple of players that are allegedly really, really highly rated and respected future talents. I do think Levi Colwill had a worse game than Fofana, and Fofana had a pretty bad game. Again, on Alex's stream, said that Colwill had a stinker in comparison to Fofana. And in general, I think I'm not backing down from that at all. And I think that they were both at detriment. Plenty of times that Colwill was caught out of position. If for the goal or for the build up to the penalty, Colwill and Fofana completely out of position. Colwill more so, and caused Sanchez to make a rash decision. That's on him as well. But the positioning from these two, absolute amateurs at times, it seems. It really is quite frightening that this is apparently the best that we have at our disposal. Obviously, very, very good players when they're on form, but the mistakes are so often, it seems. The tempers flaring, the lack of composure in a lot of situations, but at least Colwill got the ball out of the back of the net when we scored, so, mentality's there. I don't know. I'm yet to really be overly impressed with either of them. More so for Fofana, I would say, but Colwill, if it wasn't for his forward passes being as good as they are, I don't think people would be as massively impressed with him as they are. I'm not for 1 second saying that they aren't going to be good in the future, but as a duo, I'm not liking it so far. As individuals, I think they have a lot to work on, and obviously they do. They're both very young, but I think that both of them were exposed a little bit from the get-go in this game. And again, I'm sure there's going to be Fofana and Colwill fanboys that are going to be like, hey, do you even watch the game? And all that bollocks. And it's like, fuck off. Honestly, just call it what it is. They're not doing as well as you would imagine they were going to be when you see them. It's on paper, it looks glamorous. It looks glorious to see these two. But just be honest with yourselves. I'm not saying that this is going to be shit forever. I'm just saying what it is in this game, and so far from what I've seen, it's nothing really impressive that we've seen so far. That's all. Can they improve? Of course. Will they? I reckon so. It's going to take time to make this a good pairing. Lord knows that. But I'm just saying, it ain't great. It's really not great so far, to be completely honest with you. James, I would argue probably the first green on this card. I think worthy of a 7. I'm really enjoying watching James play so far this season. Since he's been back, I think he's really brought it. The talent's not really missing from him. It's there. it's there for everyone to see. And I think a lot of his haters will be saying, you know, wow, he's still got it. He's still got it. He might be made of paper mache, but he's still the real deal. And you know, Lord, please, please give us a regularly fully fit James, because he is so fucking good. It's unbelievable. But yeah, thought it was good. Good performance from the get-go, and maybe a few little blips, but for the most part, really, really good. It's all as a collective in this game, let's be honest. But moving forward, I don't want to go with Caicedo just yet, because more on that maybe at the end. I think Lavia as well. I'm really impressed with him. I really, really, enjoy watching Romeo Lavia play. I think that, you know, it's becoming more and more clear that Enzo Fernandez's spot is really, really in jeopardy in the Premier League. And Lavia, consistency-wise, really good. Just continues to really, really improve and not improve, but impress and live up to the expectations that he was brought in with. Next to him, obviously, a massive, massive performance once again from one Moises Caicedo. There's just too many things to list in terms of his abilities that he's showing. The quality that he's showing, I think, is absolutely incredible. And the fact that, along with all of his qualities that he puts on show for us on a weekly basis, sometimes, well, not really 2 times a week, because he's not really one to play in cup games, but he fucking could. Not only that, he can score a volley. So in what we've missed from, let's say, like a Kovacic or whatever, who only scores screamers, we've now got with Caicedo scoring from halfway line and volleys in big games like this, and bringing it back for us when it matters most. So he has become a player that we can massively, massively rely on. And again, another one of those players, much like Romeo Lavia, much like James, who the point I'm trying to make is that he's just silencing the haters in terms of, like, they wanted to clown us for Caicedo for so long, and it's becoming more and more clear. I'm seeing more and more rival fans say just how good he is. And, you know, he's backing it up every single week. So I'm going to give him a 9, just a forewarning. He is, without doubt, the man of the match in this game. So we might as well slap a gold, what's the name on him. And yeah, I just continues to impress. Cole Palmer, if he's got a leg left, that would be brilliant. Obviously Martinez, again, I was asked on whether or not it was a red card. I really don't care if it's a red card, because the game was done anyway. And do I care if they get a Martinez suspended? Sure. But in that moment, I just wanted to win, and the game was gone. The game was over. It is what it is. Palmer had some absolutely, massive moments of skill, of wizardry, as we have become so used to seeing. But his impact, his inevitability being a really important and imperative player in games, it's rather lacking at times. Well, not at times. We needed him today, and I hate to be that the one to point out that sometimes we just need Palmer to be Palmer. We missed him today. He had chances. One in particular that you could see he was absolutely fuming with himself that he didn't shoot earlier. It was squandered. It is what it is. We can't really put too much blame on him because of how much he does for us as a team and how much he actually brings us together and how much he's done for us so far. So I'm going to give him a 7. I think it's, not a terrible game by any stretch of the imagination. And whilst 5.5, 6 and 5.5 for the defense mostly might seem harsh, it comes from, I'm just fuming with a lot of the displays that I've seen from those three, and not even going to go on and on about Sanchez, but I think for the most part, the attack really is the thing that keeps us going. And whilst we didn't really do much in the way to score goals and get it over the line, it's hard to be annoyed at the attack when we are so lethal throughout the season so far. But the defense, for the most part, has been what's let us down. So that is the reason for the complete disparity between the two in terms of the color coding and the ratings. It is what it is. They just need to do better. Moving forward into the final three, and obviously we did have Cucurella, Fernandez, and Mudryk come on. Wasn't terrible, wasn't great from Cucurella. I thought Enzo, I didn't really see much, and Mudryk as well. A cameo, we'll say. In terms of the attack, I think Madueke was frustrating for a lot of people, and no less myself. I'm going to give him a 6, and I do think that does indeed warrant a red in this case. I think in games like this, he needs to be showing that he is worthy of that first team role in a world where Neto just continues to be what it is, and that is well, maybe not in this game. We'll get to Neto in a second, but it's Madueke, Neto, and Sancho are the front runners for the wings, and Neto being able to play on both, Sancho being able to play on both, Madueke probably could play on both. I'm leaning more towards Sancho and Neto at this point, and it's just not that he was terrible, but it wasn't, again, an overly exciting performance to watch. With Neto, I'm just going to give him the same because I thought, well, so Madueke, minutes played 71. Neto got the full game. 80% passes. Madueke. What are we saying? Touches 34. Shots 0 out of 1. Touches in the opposition box 2. It's marginally better numbers-wise for Neto, but again, I don't know. I think I could probably push Neto for a 6.5, but I don't want to be too harsh on Madueke. I don't think it was that bad a performance, but it wasn't. It was one of his ones where you're like, oh, for God's sake. So actually, no. I am gonna go back. I'm gonna retrospectively. I'm gonna give them both a 6.5 in this game, and I'm gonna give them. I think they teetered over to the green in that regard. Last but not least, Mr. Nicholas Jackson. It was just one of those ones again where we needed something. It didn't come, and yeah. I dreaded doing this player ratings. I really did, because it's just so hard to criticize a team that have been really fun to watch, really good to watch. But I'm just so dejected. So take these ratings with a pinch of salt. But I'm so dejected in what was really, really hoping that would become a cornerstone, or like a moment in time where this was where the players showed true progression. We beat that curse. We move forward. We move up to third place after 10 games. Move up above Arsenal with 2 points, and then go on to Arsenal and beat them. And I was again talking to them after the game, and they all seemed like we're going to absolutely win against Arsenal next weekend. And after that performance, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. I really fucking hope we do. But you know, I just don't know what to expect in that sort of game, because Arsenal are going to be up for it. It just seems as though in any game where we are seemingly the favourites and the other team are going to be up for it because it's Chelsea. So I don't know. I fully expect people to be annoyed at me for my Gusto, Fofana, and Colwill ratings. I think retrospectively, I am gonna change Gusto to a 6. Fofana a 6 and Cole a 5.5. I think Sanchez is absolutely a 2. Let me know how wrong I was in the comments down below. No doubt you will. If not, cool. It is what it is. We have got a game against Noah coming up on Thursday. Keep an eye out for more videos. I'm unsure if there will be one tomorrow, but again, there may well be. No stream tonight as I am busy. But again, Wednesday preview, Thursday game, and then I don't think I'm doing anything on Friday. So don't expect anything there. Until then, please do like the stream. Or like the stream, for Christ's sake. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell notification to be notified of any future content on the channel. My name is Harry, up the Chelsea, and peace.